Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Triple M NRL Daily. We are not in Las Vegas for the first time in a while. We're back home. Charlie White here. I'm joined by David Riccio and Brent Read. Reedy, you flown in this morning?
Yep, I'm feeling pretty good, Charlie. Got a lot of sleep on the plane. Mind you, I was overdue for some sleep. Saw you on the last night, actually. Early hours of the morning, yeah.
Yeah, sober though.
Yeah. Were you sober?
I was sober, yeah.
That drink in your hand, it looked like an alcoholic drink.
No, it was soda water.
Was it?
It was soda water. I had about 8. I was trying to trick my brain to thinking I was drinking, and I was just smashing San Pellegrinos. It did to a degree. Then I started getting a bit tired and went to bed.
I stayed up late the last night, but I only had a couple of drinks. I think I had 3 drinks.
That's surprising from you because you've usually only got one speed.
Well, I just destroyed myself about 2 nights before.
Yeah, I was going to say, I saw you a couple of days and you're a little bit slow, a little bit worse for wear.
Yeah.
Gets excited. He gets excited.
I can't recover anymore. I'm too old now.
Now, Dave, you were in LA covering the Olympics.
Yeah, well, I was in LA. I wasn't in Vegas. It was actually quite refreshing to watch you guys just.
I saw you at Venice. Were you at Venice Beach?
No, Santa Monica.
Santa Monica.
And it was a series of Olympic opportunities as LA get ready for the games. And, it was really good. And that's like going into SoFi Stadium, fellas. I don't know if you've ever been there. And listeners out there, if you get a chance, go to SoFi Stadium. Because as journos and sports reporters, we do get to go to the best facilities in the world. It's number one.
Looks amazing.
It's number one.
Yeah.
It's so extraordinary.
I think of the swimming in there, yes?
Yeah. I was about to say how steep the seating was.
Yeah.
But they're going to host the swimming inside the SoFi with I don't know, some of them are going to erect a pool in there.
Yeah, wow. We're doing that at the Suncorp, aren't we? We're going to have the swimming at Suncorp in 2032.
Well, that's the talk. Yeah. They need to get moving, to be honest, on their stadia.
I didn't think they were doing that.
Oh, that's a change of plans now,
No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Usually when it floods at Suncorp, it's a pool anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
Now, SoFi is obviously an American football stadium, and I believe, am I right in saying you interviewed the NFL commissioner?
Wow. I did. It was I'm really, really happy to be
Roger Goodell.
Yeah, to have the opportunity to Roger because us guys here, we only ever watch him on the NFL, and he is the brain trust of the NL. He's the PVL of the NFL. And he couldn't have been more accommodating with his time. It was fantastic to talk to. He's acutely aware of the Australian sporting talent and what it could possibly be for the NFL.
Yeah.
We've already seen from Jordan Mailata.
Did you seriously invite him to join my fantasy NFL comp?
I did. I said my mate runs a fantasy football competition. Would you like to join? He said, unfortunately, I can't do that.
Oh.
I wonder if he's the commissioner of any fantasy sports league. He'd be very strict.
His pay packet is monstrous.
Yeah, what would it be?
It's 20 or 30 million, I think. It's a year. It's ridiculous the amount of money he's on.
Yeah, really good fella.
Yeah. We can only dream, Reedy, one day.
I'm going to hit him one day.
I'm going to
hit him up for Super Bowl tickets.
So did you secure the are you going to go cover the Olympics then in LA?
I'm not sure.
You're locked in, mate.
News Corp,
you're locked in.
News Corp management will make that decision in due course.
Well, hopefully we have you at the Las Vegas in 2026 because it was another cracking year. Yeah. And Reedy, the TV ratings have come out, 2.1 million viewers.
Yeah. I think it was a little down. This is the Channel 9 ratings, yes, I believe.
I don't have it here on my sheet.
I think it's the 9 ratings. I think they went down slightly on last year. But it was another monster event, right? And, I mean, there were more people over there than last year. Fremont Street was ridiculous. And it was just another great week for the game, for rugby league. And, look, we're not going to take over America, right? It's even Peter, I think, acknowledged we're not taking over America. But that weekend, it has such an impact on the game back here because it creates this halo effect that carries over into next week and the weeks after. We eclipse the AFL. It just has so many benefits for the game, and they're making money now. They made nearly $2 million this year out of the Vegas expedition. So it's just a huge win for the game.
Fremont Street looked as big as I've ever seen it before. Is that fair to say?
Well, I didn't go, Dave, but everyone, I was doing 360.
Of course.
But everyone said it was bigger than last year.
Yeah, it was incredible. Like the whole KR fans, that whole KR
Jim
song
Jeffries was
incredible.
Good, eh?
Well, apparently, apparently the English fans were hammering him, saying, "Who are you? Who are you? Who are you?" It was. Anyway, I think he said the C word on stage as well.
Jim got fired up.
Is there anything you boys think we can do to improve it? I mean, it's an incredible success. And
look, I think watching Fox League's coverage was absolutely sensational. It is so slick, it's not funny. However, it's a long day. It's a long day of footy in the lounge room. And I think it's reflective in the seating as well. There's no denying we saw some empty seats inside the stadium. And it's only due to the length of the day. And I reckon $26 a beer also contributes as well. We haven't got, well, only Reedy's got deep pockets, but I think the scheduling and whether it only becomes a double header. And I know that's tough because the English make it. Well, do you put the English in the middle?
Well, I don't think you can because of the
broadcast, right?
The broadcast
time
slots. Yeah, it's already on really late at night in England, so I don't think you put it in the middle.
Yeah,
I'll tell you can make it better. Play a couple of games in London the same weekend. That way we've got a choice of going to Vegas or London. Can't fail. But that's what I think they're going to do that down the track. They'll play a couple of games in London, and we'll have basically the entire. I was tapping my pen, on the table. Dave's chastised me.
Yeah, it was good on you. I'm sure the audio was fantastic for everyone listening.
I'm always pulling into line.
Anyway, I think the idea, and they've spoken about this, expanding it and making it even bigger. I like the idea, but it's got to be London, right? Because
you don't think the fan base will be diluted
in Vegas?
Yeah. No, because you get a lot of, we just didn't have fans from the 4 NRL clubs there.
Like, actually, well, maybe you don't do it the same weekend.
You've changed
maybe do London somewhere else. But it was predominantly fans from the 4 clubs who were there, though, and the 2 English clubs. So I don't know if it would dilute it too much.
Yeah,
actually,
I think the plan with London, it sounds more like it wouldn't be the start of the season; it'll be later in the year, similar to how the NFL. Does a few different
dropping game.
Yeah,
I don't think you do that too late in the year, though. I reckon you've got to do it early.
Good luck getting that over the line.
Finals, I reckon.
Good luck getting that over the line with the clubs mid-year and RLPA. Turnaround times into round 15's games.
Yeah, it can't be during Origin as well.
Yeah. I think you'd have to do it early in the year. You can't do it late in the year.
Yeah. The big story today, though, boys, Zac Lomax. The saga's finally done. Well, he will not be going to the Melbourne Storm. I believe you broke this, Reedy, on Code Sports.
Yeah, look, I mean, I said from the start I didn't think it would go to court. That they'd reach a resolution outside court. I'm surprised with the resolution. I thought he would be playing football this year at the Melbourne Storm. I thought eventually they would find a way through it. They haven't been able to do that. Melbourne made some pretty significant offers at the 11th hour. They were offered to take Ryan Madison. His contract's he's got about 411 or 420 grand left in his contract, and pay a $300,000 transfer fee. Ryan Madison, I believe, didn't want to go to Melbourne, so that killed that offer off. Then they offered them 750 grand transfer fee straight out, $750,000 cash. Again, Parramatta's rejected that offer. So, look, they're obviously pretty defiant, Parramatta. They wanted a deal that helped their football team. A transfer fee doesn't help your footy team. That helps your bottom line because you can't use that to spend on players. So looks like Zac won't be playing. Look, I wouldn't rule out at some point this year or next year, someone's going to have another go at Zac Lomax. I don't think this is dead, right? I think at some point someone will ask the question again. It might be Melbourne again if they're struggling this year. But as it stands right now, he won't be playing for the Storm this year.
Look, Reedy, there's a lot of clubs and fans standing and applauding the Parramatta Eels stance and saying it's a win for contracts. And look, I can understand that point of view to a point, because Eels chairman Matthew Beach was quoted that we were always willing to consider a deal that would strengthen our football program. $750,000 strengthens your football program. You won't try and argue any different, and you're just plain wrong. That's ridiculous. I think
it's more than generous, I reckon, for Zac Lomax.
As I said, I'm happy for Parramatta that they've taken this line, but to a point, like $750,000, that's more than enough.
I'm with you, Dave. I mean, look, Zac Lomax is going to get no sympathy, right? No one's got any sympathy for Zac Lomax in this, which I think is a bit sad. And Melbourne, because this is Melbourne, people aren't going to have sympathy for Melbourne, right? And I will say this about Para. I don't think it's the right decision. I think they've made the wrong decision. But what I will say is they've shown a hell of a lot of backbone. Like the other collateral damage in this is the relationship with head office and Peter V'landys and the head office, because Peter wants him back in the game. And Parramatta stood their ground. And you can argue whether it's right or wrong. I think it's wrong, but I'll tell you what, they're showing some big kahunas to stand up to Melbourne, to reject 750 grand and to stand up to Peter V'landys. That man, Like they've picked a fight with the ARL Commission over this. Is it worth it? Probably not in the long run, but they've shown. You've got to say this about Jimmy Sarantinos, man. Jimmy doesn't seek the limelight. Jim is happy to go under the radar a bit, but I tell you what. He's shown some backbone.
Yeah.
And again, I don't agree with it, Dave. I think they should have taken 750. Like that's a hell. They don't need the money, right? They got a leagues club that makes money hand over fist. So Parra don't need the cash, but that is a hell of a lot of money for Zac Lomax.
So
you've got to remember, Dave. He broke a contract to go there. They got him for nothing.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And everyone seems to overlook this fact. Parramatta were happy to take him
when he broke a contract
to St George, but now they're saying, he's broken another deal.
Yeah.
And now they're saying, nah, we won't.
So when it was at 200,000 offer from Melbourne, when it went to 300, I'm going, no, Paris, stand your ground. Yeah. That's all right. Stand your ground. But when you get to 750,000, we're talking, and for listeners out there, that is an elite state of origin player payment. And there's no dispute that according to the quote from Eels chairman Matthew Beach, we would be willing to look at a deal that strengthened our football program. That's a deal that strengthens your footy program.
Yeah.
It is. And I think why the NRL, you're spot on about the fractured relationship now with the Eels and the NRL. Because right now, the only option for Zac Lomax is to go and promote the rival code.
Yeah.
And that is rugby union. And that's what's peeing the NRL off, that they've not only stopped an elite football from being able to continue to compete in this competition, but also too that he's going to jump ship to another code.
Have they explained why 750 wasn't enough?
Well, what Dave said, that basically the chairman said it doesn't help our football department because when they say it doesn't help our football department, they're saying effectively it doesn't help our football team become stronger because you can't use that money to buy a player. That money can go into your footy cap spending or something. Like there's a limit on football cap spending, right? But that money can be used for other parts of your football department. You
could go and register hundreds of kids at junior rugby league if you wanted to for free.
Yeah.
And you could do.
That's a good point.
The amount of things you could do with 750,000 to promote your program from grassroots all the way through is ridiculous.
Yeah, they just can't buy a player. Their point is it doesn't help us become a better football team.
Is there a chance this is a final negotiation tactic and they're hoping to get something else from the Storm, or do we think the Storm situation is definitely done? And if Lomax is to stay in the NRL, another team needs to come in?
I don't think the Storm want to give Parramatta anything that Parra want. Parra want players like Xavier Coates and Jack Howarth. They're not going to give those guys up, right? Because that weakens their football side.
You haven't touched on the Ryan Madison angle either.
Yeah, well, obviously, Melbourne were willing to take Ryan Madison. Initially, they were willing to take him, pay him out. I think he was, and then release him, right? Then they said, we'll take Ryan Madison's whole contract and come to us. Ryan Madison, I believe, said, I don't want to go to Melbourne. So that scuppered that deal.
Yeah, that's not that surprising.
And he is the collateral damage in this, Ryan Madison. Now, I mean, everyone knew he was on the outer of Parramatta, but I tell you what, the way he's been kicked about like a football and all this is pretty tawdry.
I mean, it's not that surprising though that Ryan Madison wouldn't want to go. He rejected a fine and took suspension, so he doesn't really like playing footy that much anyway. Clearly, Zac. He's on the outs.
Charlie.
He's on the outs.
Come on, Charlie.
He's on the outs at Parramatta though. He knows he's got no chance there. Why wouldn't he go to Melbourne and chase playing first grade?
That's right. That I don't know. And Ryan Madison hasn't. When was the last time Ryan Madison did an interview, Dave? Ages ago, wasn't it?
Yes.
So I don't know. Look, I mean, as I said, Zac Lomax will get no sympathy, right? Because a lot of people will go, Zac's made his bed, he's got to lie on it. But I have a modicum of sympathy for him because I think, he's going to be lost to the game. I think that's sad for rugby league.
So is it most likely that he ends up in Union in your boys' eyes?
See, the other issue he's got is a lot of clubs don't want to touch him because of his history. So I think, he probably ends up in rugby union.
You agree, Dave?
Yeah, I do. And I just think the way it's all panned out, what rival NRL club will want to go through this process to try and sign Zac Lomax? Unless there's a club that comes up with some type of package that appeases Parramatta.
I put my thinking cap on, Dave, and I thought of a couple. If you're the Dogs, would you give up Matt Burton for him? And you could play him in your outside backs.
Why do Parramatta need Matt Burton?
Don't know. It's just a thought.
Well, you've got to think about
play him in the centres.
Yeah,
he's a good centre.
Yeah,
he's on big money though. It's just an idea I had.
Yeah.
Manly, Think about Saab or Ruben
The
Garrett
one
for a
thing
year.
we can't get to the bottom of with the Eels is actually what they want.
I think they want a player
Yeah.
and some cash. They want a good player.
Well, they're thin in the outside back, so clearly they want a replacement.
Another big bit of news, Dave. You broke this today on Code Sports. Involves Mitch Barnett.
Yeah, look, it's a significant development in the Mitch Barnett's contract situation. We know now that he is getting a release from the Warriors, and I can tell you that Parramatta have entered the race for him. And this is a significant play by the Eels. Not only do they have the cash now with the Zac Lomax case closed, but they can really strengthen their forward stocks if they were to pull this deal off. I think it's only in its infancy. They've certainly made inquiries. They want to continue to talk to Mitch Barnett. And I think any club that ends up with Mitch Barnett is going to be stronger for it. But it's an interesting one from Para.
I wonder what that means for Junior Paulo, Dave, Junior Barlow, Dave, because he's off contract, hasn't done a deal yet with Parramatta. And if they're chasing Mitch Barnett, I wonder whether it has repercussions for Junior.
Oh, no doubt the Eels would be putting a reduced offer to Junior as well, Reedy.
He's on huge money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I think they'd be putting a reduced offer to Junior. It's just a case of whether Junior accepts that offer.
Maybe they switch camps. Maybe Junior goes to the Warriors.
Yeah. Talking to the Warriors, they're pretty comfortable with. They would like to pick up a player in return for Barnett with the buying club that picks up Barnett, but they're not. They've got such a rich production line of up and coming talent in the forward stocks. They're not stressed about it. The only other club is whether the Brisbane Broncos come in hard for Barnett. It's an obvious landing spot with Payne Haas moving on. And then the other one I've heard is Manly. Manly sniffing around.
Newcastle in the mix?
Not at this stage. I find it surprising that they haven't come to the fore. I found that as a natural landing spot for him. But it's Parramatta that are really keen.
It is weird, the personal reasons and then wanting to go to Brisbane. Like, it feels like if you're going to be close to family, Brisbane's not close to where his family is.
Yeah, look, and I think the issue with that is, talking to Mitch, he knows that, look, ultimately his family are based in Taree. There's not many NRL clubs around Taree. Newcastle, you could make a case for, the Titans pretty close too. But he knows one thing, he needs to get back in and around family support, and I think Brisbane's closer than New Zealand.
Yeah. Do you know, where's his partner's family from? It's New South Wales as well? Not sure.
I understand they are, yeah.
Yeah. You also broke this today on Code Sports that Owen Pattie has missed out on the 17. He played every game for the Raiders last year, but he's missed out on selection this first round.
It's a significant decision by Raiders coach Ricky Stewart. And once again, Ricky not afraid to make a big call. This has nothing to do with the Raiders' belief that Owen Pattie won't be an NRL star. It's about trying to develop Owen Pattie beyond the 15 to 20 minutes that he's only been getting in the NRL. And speaking to Owen about, let's go back, get 60 minutes of endurance, physicality, of playing longer minutes, so that when it is time for you to become that elite NRL player, you've got the money in the bank. You've got the time. You've got the minutes under your belt. While ever he's playing in the NRL, and as the impact he has had has been so great, he's still only getting 15 to 20 minutes. So the argument is, what type of development as a footballer is that? It's an interesting decision. I can understand the logic, absolutely. But Jaden Brayley, who everyone thought, how does this guy get into the Raiders squad? He'll be in that squad for round one.
I was going to say, Dave, one of those guys was always going to miss out, right? Because you've got Starling, Brayley and Pattie. You can't carry three hookers in this squad. It's 19 now, isn't it? But he's young. He'll learn from it. He'll get better. He's going to be a really good player in the long run, Owen Pattie. So
my understanding, he's received it really well. He knows that he can probably go get more footy under his belt, playing cup for a few weeks, and developing as a genuine NRL dummy half. And it's an interesting thought, because we don't see it like that. We just see drops and swaps and players in and out. But the Raiders are thinking the long-term development here for Owen Pattie, and by increasing his minutes in cup.
Makes you think that the loan system would suit Owen Pattie quite well.
Good shout,
Good
shout.
Yeah, you're smart.
I think we need the loan system.
Yeah,
I think it's a waste.
100%.
Especially as we expand. We've got Perth Bears coming in next year, PNG the year after.
100%.
This Perth Bears side that's getting put together at the moment.
Not a fan?
It doesn't blow me away yet. But I think the more we expand, we can't have guys like Owen Pattie playing New South Wales Cup. You know, even if he's loaned out, it benefits the Raiders, benefits Owen, and benefits the club.
Like when Harry went to the West Tigers for a year, it was a great for Harry's development, right? So it's a good call. Well, they could do it. I mean, Harry went to the West Tigers. As I said, they could work out a way to get it done if they really wanted to.
My concern there is you're one injury away from wanting Owen Pattie back into your team. And then suddenly he's playing wherever.
But you can recall him, can't you?
Call him back.
You call him back.
You
of course you can in the loan system.
I don't think Harry.
You could write it in the deal. Say, mate, if we desperately need him, if either of our hookers
he could
are
have
long
the
term,
new. He could have the new
him
kit
back.
bag and all the new gear for 1 week.
That's all right. He can give it to his friends or something.
We've got to talk team news because this is where, you know, your super coach plans get thrown into a frenzy and the big stuff, it looks like Sione Katoa is set to play for Cronulla, Dave.
Yeah, he will.
He's overcome that groin injury.
Yeah, he will, and that's positive news because I think the Sharks are a little bit thin out wide at the moment. Moeni Horoti's not 100% either. Clearly, Ronaldo Mulatalo. Guys, I don't think I think the game is underestimating the loss of Ronaldo Mulatalo for the Sharks start to the season. He's huge loss, and it'll be huge.
When's he back, Dave? When's he back?
Mid-season.
Mid-season, yeah.
I think there's a massive opportunity for Sam Stone Street.
I spoke to Ronaldo Mulatalo. He thinks he might be back for round 8, but he could be being ambitious.
Yeah.
But he said to me round 8 he thought he was back.
Okay, well, the sooner he gets back, because I just think he's so important for the team and their energy. Like he gets them fired up. He's the player that rival fans hate.
You like Stone Street, don't you?
Yeah, I do. He
right?
needs to develop where Ronaldo's strength is and what'll hurt Cronulla is that backfield carry.
I picked him up at Supercoach on your recommendation.
Sammy,
you told me he scores a lot of tries.
He does. He'll score tries. He's fast.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
I think he scored 8 and 8 last year.
That'll do me. I'll take that.
Strike rate.
I'll take that.
Katoa and Stone Street, they're both off contract, Dave.
Yep.
Are they going to be able to keep both of them, or do you think one of them will have to leave?
One might have to fall out. Yeah, this is going to be the Cronulla situation all year. Same in the front row with ULA and Toby Rudolph and Cam McInnes. It goes on and on and on there. Will Kennedy.
They lost Talakai already.
Perth
should sweep on one of those wingers. I know you're
that won't float Charlie's boat.
Poor old Bears, but one of those
does
wingers
Katoa or Stone Street float your Bears boat?
That's fantastic. If you get one of them as a winger, I love Stone Street. He's a good player, but Katoa is he's a good finisher. He's one of the Sharks' leading ever try scorers almost.
That's true.
Mel.
And a big one for Penrith. Liam Martin's out.
That's huge.
Calf injury.
Huge.
Yeah, calf injury. He didn't trial. And when they don't trial, there's always a little bit of concern there. Look, the tip is he's hoping to be right for round 2 against the Sharks in Bathurst. But it's an out. Isaiah Papali'i or Luke Garner you'd think drops into that back row.
Jaden Campbell, the hamstring injury, Reedy. If he can't play, where do they go for 7? Is it Zane Harrison alongside? Is it Lockie Ilias?
Yeah, it'd be Ilias. I can't imagine they throw Zane Harrison. As good as Zane Harrison was in the preseason, it might be a bit early to throw him into first grade. And they've got, as Dave mentioned there, Lockie Ilias, who played really well in the preseason as well. So Ilias is the logical one there.
I've spoken to the Titans. It'll be Ilias. Look, Jaden's not serious. It's just that they don't want to rush. A lot of the teams will do it this round 1. You'll see a couple of outs. And they just don't want to apply the pressure so early in the season. And they just don't want to stress Jaden's hammy out at this point in time. It'll be Lockie if Jaden's out.
Nice. DCE's in the 6, Sammy Walker in the 7.
It's interesting, isn't it, watching this combination, how it's going to work. It's pretty exciting, I reckon, if you're a Roosters fan.
Yeah.
I love Sammy Walker, man. He's such a good player.
Yeah.
He's different, right? He's different. I like saying he's different gravy, man.
He's different gravy. He's a Queenslander as well, Reedy.
Yeah, I know. And I love that about him. He's just got something about him, Sam. Like X-Factor, that's such an X-Factor about him with that kicking game. And be interesting to see how he combines with DCE because DCE is not your, like even you speak to people at Manly and they say it was Tommy who sort of directed that team around rather than DCE. So it's going to be interesting to see how it works.
The other interesting factor here is the absence of Reece Robson and the arrival of Benaiah Aielu. Hopefully I pronounced that right.
You did.
Nailed it, Dave.
He's a star.
Yeah, he is.
So Trent Robinson has declared that this kid is an out-and-out starting dummy half for the Roosters.
Okay.
So where's Reece Robson? Does he play a running 13 role like Cam McInnes?
Surely, how do you say it again?
So Aielu. So it'll be
go back to the bench and play for. Oh no, they got Connor Watson, don't they?
That's right.
Oh, that's drama. He might have to play reserve grade all year.
Wow. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out because
This is why everyone's tipping the Roosters to win the comp, Dave, because they've got so much depth. You've tipped.
They're my minor premiers. Penrith to win the comp.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You loved them last year as well.
Yeah, because they've
ripped them last year.
They've got so much talent.
They're
the Dalian fullback of the year. You drop James Tedesco into the majority of the top 4 other clubs and they go and win the comp. And I thought they underachieved. I know it. Roosters fans come at me.
It looks like Ashton Ward's going to get the first crack at 7, obviously because Humphreys is injured.
Sullivan was injured a lot too in the preseason, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Ashton Ward punches so far above his weight. He played very well in the Charity Shield when he came on. I like the kid. He just does all the simple stuff right despite his size. He's a jockey.
He's a goer, Dave.
He's a
good
goer,
old-fashioned
mate.
goer.
He's a goer.
The injuries are mounting up though for the Bunnies because obviously Cheese is missing with the calf.
What's Cheese's situation, Charlie?
So it's only a moderate calf strain, which is good news. So moderate calf strains are normally 3 to 6 weeks. So I saw it came out that he's only going to miss 2 weeks. I'd say that's unlikely unless he's a really quick healer. Yeah. But Adam Elliott's on his calf now as well. It's bunnies, man. Bunnies and soft tissue
injuries, don't they?
Efren Park.
The Astro.
You know, I like to look at them in the preseason too. I had them. They were in my 8. But I was starting to think, this might be a bit out there, I was starting to think they were premiership contenders.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'd really like to look at them in the preseason. I don't know why, but I didn't see a lot of the preseason. I just had a good feel. They just had a good feel.
That'll do.
They just had a good feel about them.
I didn't watch much preseason, but in the preseason, I thought the Bunnies looked like
they just had a good feel about them. Didn't you think?
Yeah,
I think
jet lagged?
it was just
Are
something
you
about
jet
them.
lagged?
Yeah, I am a bit jet lagged.
Are you jet lagged?
And I love the, guys know I love
So I just want to dial it back.
You
You thought they were premiership contenders.
Yep. I watched the highlights. They look
on
good.
NRL.com.
Yes. If Latrell plays 20 games,
Don't embarrass yourself
I reckon
anymore,
they're
Reedy.
top
Please
4.
stop.
Did you like Fafita? That got me excited. Fafita's first run, I think he ran over Fogarty, bumped off 4 other Manly players and nearly scored a
love
try.
Big Dave, he's a champion.
Yeah.
Yeah, they get the best out of him. Latrell plays a lot. Cody's got to stay fit. Cody's huge for them. Cody stays fit. Latrell stays fit. Dave has a big year.
Yeah,
mate. I think they're top 4.
A lot of ifs.
Wow.
There are a lot of ifs.
A lot of ifs. They need a lot to go right for them.
They do, yeah.
Gyro, Dobbo said that Gyro is in the clear now. Have you boys heard similar?
I haven't heard that.
I know that.
Okay, yeah. So he on NRL Daily yesterday.
It's a bit loose. You can get a bit loose on Dobbo.
Because it was sounding really bad. Obviously, there was talk of
there was talk his career was over. Actually.
Yes, but Dobbo said no, he's all good. He'll be back hopefully
I'll
soon.
check that out today, Charlie.
Look into that, will you, mate? That's fantastic.
I'll ring the big man.
An unfortunate story from last week, and first of all, I feel terrible for Terrell May that this has come out. I mean, it's a crime what's happened to him. It's revenge porn. So I hope he's doing all right. He's a fantastic human being and just awful having a video of like that of yourself getting shared around online. And he has spoken to the Daily Telegraph, Reedy. I think spoke to
Tyson Jackson.
Fantastic. And he said this: there isn't much I can do about the video. It was taken years ago and the actions of someone leaking it were out of my hands, but I've moved past that pretty quickly. He's on a media ban. He doesn't want to be in the spotlight. It's you got to feel for him though, Reedy. That's a horrible situation to be
Well
in.
handled.
Yeah, look, I mean, obviously we became aware of it while we were in Vegas, actually, and I rang someone close to him and said, "Look, I'm just giving you a heads up. This is doing the rounds." And they said, "Look, we've already notified the club, we've notified the NRL, and we've notified the Safety Commission." And then they rang me back and said, "Look, we want to kill this off. We want to, nip this story off at the bud." So, and that's why it ended up coming out. But or we ended up doing a story on it. But it's terrible for Terrell. And obviously the NRL's aware of it too, and they're involved because I wouldn't have imagined from a sanctioning perspective, but when this happens to one of their athletes, they want to make sure the athlete's all right. So they're obviously involved in it as well because they want to make sure Terrell's all right and it gets treated the right way. So terrible for Terrell.
Yeah,
he's had a tough pre-season.
I said it earlier. Very well handled here by Terrell and his management team. Getting on the front foot's so important with a story. When it's not pretty, and you need to be able to control the narrative from your point of view. Going to ground, I've never found helps. And the more upfront you are, the more honest you are, more transparent you are. Like the Mitch Barnett release from the Warriors, he couldn't have been more transparent about, hey, I need to get back to Australia, Sydney, home for my son. I think players and clubs, less players, more clubs think they can control the messaging, and it's completely over the top and wrong. You need to be transparent, nip it in the bud, and as we know in rugby league, the news cycle moves so quickly that within 24, 48 hours, we all move on.
What's it like as a journo when you have to cover a story like this?
Well, it's difficult because you've got to be respectful of the athletes' privacy and the fact that they've been mistreated. This is almost through no doing of their own, and this is actually a crime. The person who spread this has actually committed a crime, so it's obviously a sensitive matter to deal with, and that's why we made sure that Terrell and his camp were aware, and the Tigers were aware as well of how this unfolded, basically.
Are we wrapping up?
No, we can keep going, Dave. What have you got?
I was just going to finish on a lighter note.
Yeah.
Got a funny story.
Oh, yeah, let's go.
Story time with Dave again. Last time it was Ricky Stewart and the Blue Smurfs.
Yeah.
I was calling the Charity Shield. I was on the sideline for the Charity Shield match, and Anthony Maroon, great caller, through to Dave Riolo down on the sideline, right? And so he didn't realise he'd said it. Maroon used to work in radio with Dave Riolo. For listeners out there, Dave Riolo, former Illawarra Steeler, Parramatta Eel, is now one of the elite player managers in the game. He has a host of the biggest talent. However, he was also in radio, Dave Riolo. So Maroon throws to Dave Riolo on the sideline, which is me, Dave Riccio. And I let it go. And then Maroon realises what he said. And it got me thinking about the day that I rang Des Hasler, who was at the Bulldogs.
This never ends well.
Yeah. So I rang Des, and he answered the phone and just started swearing that many expletives down the phone. Can I swear and beep it out?
Yeah, we'll beep it out, yep.
Fuck you, Riolo. What the fuck are you doing, Riolo? Like, give me that fucking player you said you were going to give to me, right? Et cetera, et cetera. Hopefully, but
We can beep it now. We beeped it. Yeah, we've done it.
Right? Give me that player. You said you were going to give me this player for such and such dollars. Now, you've got until 24 hours, and that's it. That's the deadline. Desi doing the whole hair flick and the mad scientist. I can visualise down the phone line. And I just let it go. And I thought, and I said, Des, it's Dave Riccio. And he went, oh, beep, 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 and hung up.
Oh,
He's never mentioned it again, Desi.
That is gold. That is gold. Now, boys, every single week we are going to be looking at some of the best comments from the week, and you can go to the YouTube page. So Triple M NRL has its own YouTube page now. It's not just on Triple M. You just search Triple M NRL, give that a search. We've got a link in the show notes as well on the podcast. So you can click that link and it takes you straight to it. But James says, the NRL comp is on a knife's edge. Good luck with tipping this year. In my opinion, don't waste your time. Is it that hard to call this year, boys?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think the wheat will separate itself from the chaff eventually. It won't take long.
Very good.
Did you go 2 from 2 in Vegas, tipping wise?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I did as well.
Yeah.
Tipping
No, I went on 1 from 2, I think. I
Did you take North Queensland?
Yeah, I took the Cowboys.
They were so disappointing.
Oh, yeah, weren't they what? Yeah, I think there's a little bit of merit to that. I think it is a tough comp.
Yeah.
Stay solid, James. You'll be right.
Yeah.
Well, I reckon if Dragons, I had the Dragons for the spoon, and I'll stay with it now because I've said it. If that team is
I'm
the
like
wooden
you.
spoon winner, wow, what a competition
I'm
we've
like
got.
you. I had
Yeah.
them for the spoon, but after watching the play, I don't think they win the
I
spoon.
can't believe I tipped the Cowboys, but I've tipped the Cowboys for the spoon.
Yeah, I know. And I
Why
think
did I do that?
I think you might be right about the Cowboys.
Mm.
And geez, it could get grim for them. Round 2, they got Tigers at Leichhardt Oval, and the week after that, they got the Titans. If they go 0-3 there,
He's in trouble.
he's in trouble.
Massive trouble.
Sub says, Dragons just need to shift Flanagan to 14. Honestly, he could come on after 30 minutes as a lock or dummy half and ask a few questions.
So Subs clearly wants Lycan Kingtogia in the halves alongside Daniel Atkinson. I don't mind that at all as far as what I've always seen from Kyle at dummy half. I think he was pretty clever there when he had that stint a couple of seasons ago. I do think the issue is, though, you put Lycan Kingtogia in, you're going to worry about your big edge back rowers dominating him defensively, and that's what Kyle cleans up.
Dave, is it also not an issue that if you put him if you have Kyle as your 14 on the bench, they've got Cook and
Jacob Little.
Jacob Little, who they like Jacob Little, yeah?
He was outstanding last year.
So that means one of them's got to miss out. I reckon locking King Tonga, though, if he doesn't play at some point in the next month or two, he'll be gone.
Yeah, right.
He won't be there. He'll want to leave.
Is Cade Reed still too raw to get in this year?
Yeah, you'd know better than me.
Yeah,
Dave,
they do.
he's young.
And they have high hopes for Cade, but you've got to be careful. You can't rush them too early, and they're just keeping him on ice, keep developing through Cup this year.
Yeah.
He'll be there in the future for sure.
You both got a good relationship with Shane Flanagan, or maybe Dave
not
more
so
than you, Reedy.
Well,
Reedy floats in and
I
out.
have a mixed relationship with Flano.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did you make?
Depends what I say.
What did you make of his comments about not winning the comp this year?
Yeah, I was surprised by them. He explained it later. I understand where he's coming from, but I'm not a fan of the comments. I think you've got to give your fans hope, even if you don't think you win the comp. Don't come out and say it.
Yeah, well, I think we all know they won't be winning the comp this year. I found him a little bit surprising, but that's what you get from Flano. He's very real, very honest.
Which that's the good part about Flano, right? He's very open and honest, and if he doesn't, as we found out, if he doesn't like what you say, he'll let you know about it. At least you know where you stand with Flano.
Yep.
Now, this comment might be from Shane Flanagan because it's a Shane who sent this one in. Why is there a double standard for the Dogs? Direct force to the head and no charge by match committee. That's the Stephen Crichton hit. So contact from now like this is a grade 0.
He was about a foot off the ground. I mean, there are pretty significant mitigating factors in it. And I don't know how much contact there was with the head.
He got him in the head.
Did he really?
I firmly believe he should have been sin-binned.
I could live with that. They'd sin-bin him.
Yeah. I'm okay with no
I don't
charge.
think he wanted a charge. I mean, it was like this. I can't.
Yeah,
radio, right? It's about a foot off the ground.
Yeah. But still, the onus is on the defender not to hit the attacker in the head.
Sometimes it can't
and that's
be
what he
avoided,
did.
though, Dave.
But that's why it should have been sin-binned.
Yeah.
The Frizzell one was pretty bad. The cannonball on McKaylee, when McKaylee obviously did his knee. I saw him at the airport in Las Vegas, and he's in a knee brace limping around. I thought that was pretty bad, the Frizzell one.
I didn't think that was that bad, Charlie.
Yeah, right. I thought it was a proper
I haven't
cannonball.
seen a replay of it, and I was on the sideline, so I haven't seen a replay of it. But when I first
Thought he was lucky.
When I first saw it, I didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah, well, the match review committee agrees
charged,
with you. You
though.
only got a fine. Yeah. Great show, as always, gents.
Thank you, Charlie.
Las Vegas we'll leave behind us now. We'll move
Keep
forward.
Las
Keep
Vegas.
those comments coming in.
Yes.
If you don't agree, give it to us. We're happy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We like it. We welcome
We'll
it.
air it. We'll air it.
Anything you say.
I love a bit of abuse.
Yeah, I love abuse. Gets you going in the morning,
it does.
doesn't
Get you fired up.
you can comment on Spotify, comment on YouTube. Send us a fax, send us an email, get in touch, and we'll read it out. But thanks very much for joining us.
Thanks, Charlie.
Cheers, Charlie.